were brutally murdered in their house. Selena Juarez, Lisette Chavez, and Lucy Chen, Melissa O'Neill, travel to Ezra's last known location while Nolan is assigned to question him. In reality, Ezra was staying at a hotel when they find the missing daughter, Samantha, a scared little girl. She fears the cops and has obviously been brainwashed by Ezra. The most heartbreaking aspect is that she is unaware that her parents have passed away. While the rest of the Mid-Wilshire group tries to piece together Ezra's life, Samantha is transported to the hospital. It turns out that Samantha thought he was going to kill her that evening because he thinks he is a demon named Amon. After realizing that Ezra has abducted another girl to replace Samantha, the team finds her and provides her with medical care. In one horrifying scene, Lucy talks about the red place outside Samantha's hospital room after Ezra brings it up during his interrogation. Samantha had to be restrained after she begins stabbing herself in the arms with a needle after hearing the phrase. As it turns out, Ezra would take Samantha to this real red-painted room to punish her, and the sentence was a programming prompt meant to cause her to injure herself. Samantha appears to benefit from Lucy's eventual disclosure of a little bit of her own kidnapping experience from Season 2. I think she will be alright. Lucy's character feels much more developed when this thread of her prior suffering is brought back. The plot ends with Ezra being taken away in handcuffs and vowed never to harm anyone again, but it is clear how much harm he has caused. The creators of The Rookie were not going to let Chen ride off into the sunset in utter joy. Tim Bradford, Eric Winter, and Lucy are shown in episode 3 having a little argument since his house is now full of boxes after Lucy's move. Lucy is more than delighted to unpack at her own leisure, and it's obvious that Tim is itching with discomfort due to his chaotic area. After so much turmoil in their relationship, it's great to see them coexisting, but the tension is a clear indication that their journey won't be easy. Additionally, there is a side plot involving Angela Lopez, Alyssa Diaz, and Wesley Evers, Shawn Ashmore, both forgetting their own wedding anniversary, but to be honest, this episode felt like filler. Because the plot involving Ezra was so dark and unsettling, evoking this more absurd plot also caused the program to have strange tone swings. Afterwards, Chen relates her horrific encounter with Samantha. She pledges to support Samantha throughout this difficult time. Stops by, she tells them that Samantha's aunt is traveling from London. Additionally, she pledges to support Samantha until she feels secure. Every female police officer at the stations is eager to assist. Seth visits Juarez and Miles' apartment in the evening. As long as Seth never lies to him again, Miles offers to assist him in making amends. Lopez is somewhat comforted at the Evers home when she discovers Wesley has also forgotten their anniversary. After their exhausting day, Wade offers to buy Nolan a drink at the station. Chen volunteers to oversee things at The Rookie has demonstrated during its 8 seasons that it enjoys reviving old characters and well-known plots. This serves as a unifying theme throughout seasons and, in many respects, gives the procedural a familiar feel. Long-time viewers can gain a more profound comprehension of the show's ethos. There are instances, though, when some of these earlier plots ought to be abandoned. A very unsettling antagonist is introduced in Show 3, but the entire show is ruined by the reappearance of a plot from the previous season. Seth Ridley, Patrick Kelleher, a fresh rookie, joins the Mid-Wilshire police force in the 7th season of The Rookie. He continuously lies about almost everything, including the fact that he has cancer, causing pandemonium throughout the entire season. He eventually gets expelled from the force, but he is later permitted to return because he says he fell victim to an insurance scam. Seth gets shot in episode 16, which results in the amputation of his leg. John Nolan, Nathan Fillion, gives him a motivational speech after his police career is summarily finished, telling him that he now has the chance to change his life and put an end to all of the deceit. I believe that this was Seth's final appearance. Miles Penn, Derek Augustine, appears at Seth's apartment in episode 3, despite the fact that he is by far the most obnoxious and bothersome character. Miles has discovered that Seth is not attending physical therapy, and based on the state of the flat, it appears that he has given up on life. Miles makes an effort to patch things up with Seth, but in typical Seth fashion, all he can do is gripe about how unfairly everyone is treating him. Miles soon discovers that Seth has not changed at all as a person as a result of his injuries. Seth begs Miles for assistance after having a revelation later in the program. Seth needs to quit feeling sorry for himself, according to Miles, and he will assist if Seth practices radical honesty. To be quite honest, I wouldn't mind if Seth's character was permanently removed from the program. Since Kelleher is a talented actor, I can truly sense Seth's narcissism and self-righteousness. In light of this, though, I don't think the program needs to repeat the same plot with Seth in a new season. Seth's adventure didn't really need to be followed up on, and I don't want to witness any more moments where Miles assists Seth. The rookie has always been a master at creating antagonists that are entertaining to watch. Another genuinely wicked villain is introduced in episode 3, and we find ourselves drawn into his realm. David Krumholtz plays Ezra Kane, a seemingly destitute homeless guy who seeks safety in a recreation center. Ezra's connection to a triple homicide 3 years prior is soon discovered by the team.